Welcome to Manchester United News. Breaking news. Sergio Reguilon completes Manchester United medical ahead of loan transfer, with Luke Shaw set to miss 10 weeks through injury. Shaw suffered an injury to his thigh during the 2-0 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. The Red Devils have since been forced to play Diogo Dalot at left back to cover for the injured defender. The club have been linked with a few options to replace Shaw while he is injured. Chelsea's Marc Cucurella and Tottenham's Reguilon were considered the main targets. But the club have agreed a deal for Reguilon to join the on loan for the season. The Athletic adds that Reguilon has completed his medical at Old Trafford. It is suggested that the club will also have a break clause in the deal that can be triggered in January. The Spaniard would be expected to fill in for the injured Shaw and Tyrell Malacia while at the club. It is feared that Shaw could miss up to 10 weeks with his current injury. Meanwhile, Malacia is still on the sidelines after picking up an injury that has kept him out since before preseason. Reguilon, 26, joined Tottenham in 2020, but spent last season out on loan at Atletico Madrid after falling down the pecking order. The move was not a success, as he only featured 11 times in La Liga for the club. In more transfer news, Fiorentina demand clause in Manchester United's Sofyan Amrabat deal after rejecting first loan bid. Fiorentina are insistent that Sofyan Amrabat will only be able to join Manchester United on loan if an obligation to purchase the midfielder permanently is included in the deal. Amrabat, 27, has been heavily linked with a transfer to United throughout the summer transfer window, and it is understood the Morocco international is free to leave Fiorentina before the transfer deadline day for the right price. While Erik ten Hag is keen to bring Amrabat to Old Trafford, the Dutchman is now working with limited funds after spending in excess of £170 million on deals for Mason Mount, Andre Onana and Rasmus Højlund earlier this summer. An initial loan proposal was reportedly turned down by Fiorentina on Wednesday evening, but talks between the two clubs are ongoing. Several reports claim that the Serie A outfit are open to allowing Amrabat leave on loan initially before Friday, but only if an obligation to purchase the playmaker at the end of the season is included. It is suggested a fee in the region of £22 million minus £26 has been discussed. While it remains to be seen if Manchester United will be able to finance a deal that is acceptable to Fiorentina, Ten Hag considers the signing of another number 6 who is capable of sitting and controlling games as a necessity prior to the deadline. In another development, Hannibal Mejbri is set to stay at Manchester United following talks with Erik ten Hag. Hannibal Mejbri is expected to stay at Manchester United this season after a late intervention from Erik ten Hag. The 20-year-old midfielder spent last season out on loan at Birmingham City in the Championship, with a number of clubs currently interested in his services. While there have been several offers from England, Sevilla have also made Mejbri an offer. Terms of the deal have been discussed while the Tunisia international was open to make the move to Spain. However, he is now planning to stay following fresh talks with Ten Hag over his role at United this season. The United boss views Mejbri as a valuable option who can make a first-team impact this season and would prefer for him to continue his development in Manchester. As a result, the former Monaco youngster is now planning to stay. Mejbri has made just 3 senior appearances for United, but following on from his impressive loan at Birmingham, took his chances in the United team during preseason to force his way into Ten Hag's thinking. Midfield has been an area of concern for United in the early weeks of the season. Mason Mount is currently sidelined, with the summer signing ruled out until after the international break. Having allowed Fred to leave the club to join Fenerbahce, United are also still trying to offload Donny van Beek, while Scott McTominay has been the subject of interest from a number of clubs, including Bayern Munich. There is still a hope a deal to sign Fiorentina midfielder Sofyan Amrabat can be agreed. United have attempted to sign the Morocco international on loan rather than meeting the £30 million asking price. The midfielder is desperate to join the club and has received assurances from Erik ten Hag that a deal will go through. Fiorentina are willing to agree to a loan move for the 26-year-old, but are insisting that any arrangement includes an obligation to buy the player at the end of the season. In news of those leaving the club, Dean Henderson sends emotional message to Manchester United as Crystal Palace transfer confirmed. Dean Henderson has left Manchester United to join Crystal Palace for an undisclosed fee. The 26-year-old progressed through the famed academy system at Old Trafford and went on to play 29 matches for the club in all competitions after making his debut. However, a new challenge awaits for the England stopper, who spent last season on loan in the Premier League with Nottingham Forest. Forest had been keen on re-signing Henderson on a permanent basis, but the Midlands side instead signed now former Arsenal goalkeeper Matt Turner as their number one. That opened the door for Palace to move in, and the Eagles have, ultimately, sealed a move for Henderson with 24 hours to go before the window closes. Although the transfer fee remains undisclosed, Manchester Evening News understands the two clubs reached an agreement on a fee rising to £20 million. Henderson will subsequently be replaced in the United squad by the incoming Altay Bayindir, due to arrive in a £4.3 million deal from Turkish side Fenerbahce. Henderson, who has one England senior cap to his name, had loan spells at Stockport, Grimsby Town, Shrewsbury and Sheffield United, twice, before heading to Forest last season. He has put pen to paper on a 5-year contract at Palace to team up with Roy Hodgson and his squad. After the move was confirmed, Henderson quickly took to X, formerly Twitter, to share an emotional message to United supporters. In that, he wrote, "Saying goodbye to United is an emotional moment for me, and this club has been a part of my life since I was a kid. The journey has been my dream come true, and I feel blessed and fortunate to have fulfilled that dream." Furthermore, on departures, Teden Mengi pays tribute to Manchester United after completing Luton Town transfer. Manchester United have confirmed yet another permanent departure before the transfer window closes. Academy graduate Teden Mengi has left Old Trafford to sign for Luton Town for an undisclosed fee, bringing an end to 14-year association with the club. Mengi, 21, signed for United aged 6 and played 2 senior games for them after making his debut in the Europa League against Lask Linz in 2020. Mengi departed on Thursday, a short time after Dean Henderson's switch to Crystal Palace was announced. Mengi, who spent time on loan with Derby County and Birmingham City previously, only had 12 months to run on his contract at United, and Luton have promptly snapped him up for their Premier League charge. Other sides were interested in the Manchester-born centre-back, at home and abroad. Speaking about his transfer to MUFC Media, Mengi said, "From signing for the club that I supported, to playing for them in the Champions League, it has been an incredible journey over the last 15 years. Mengi continued, "Manchester United is a family, and I've been lucky enough to be supported by some of the best teammates and staff possible over those years. It's hard to put into words how grateful I am to each and every one of them. It's tough to leave somewhere that has been such a huge part of my whole life, but I'm ready. Joining Luton Town is an amazing opportunity for me, and it's time to show everyone what I can do and help this team to be successful in every way possible." Mengi also spoke to Luton's website, saying, "I'd been at Manchester United since I was 6 and been there all my life. I've seen people come and go, and I was the last of my age group to leave. While it's sad to leave United, it's an exciting time. I just had to be real with myself and ask what's going to be best for me. Stay and fight with United or go somewhere else and look for an opportunity. In the end, I was honest with myself and took that option. Making Luton my home was a no-brainer, and taking on that challenge as I've never lived outside of Manchester is something I'm looking forward to. Even before they got promoted, the team were doing well. I like the way they play, and with 5 at the back I feel I could fit in very well. After speaking to the manager, I feel as though I've got a good chance of making an impression here." In non-transfer related news, Manchester United learn Champions League group stage opponents. Manchester United will face Bayern Munich in the Champions League after they were paired in the same group during the draw in Monaco. The two European giants last met in the Champions League in 2013-14, when David Moyes' side were beaten 3-1 in Munich after a 1-1 draw in Manchester in the quarter-finals. FC Copenhagen are the third team in Group A, with Højlund given the chance to face the club where he started his career. The Danish champions held Manchester City to a goalless draw at the Parken Stadium in last season's group stage. United faced FC Copenhagen in the 2006-07 group stage, but more recently needed a Bruno Fernandes penalty in extra time to win their Europa League quarterfinal in Germany during the COVID-disrupted season of 2019-20. Galatasaray are the final team to make up Group A after they regained the domestic crown for the first time in 4 seasons last year. They beat Molde in the playoff round over 2 legs to secure their progress to the group stage. United and Galatasaray were last in the same group in 2012-13, when both teams won their respective home games 1-0. Fans, if Manchester United sign Amrabat, how would you rate this transfer window out of 10? Leave your comments below in the comments section. Till next time, thank you for watching.